Peace and blessings, family. My name is Jay, and today I'm going to talk to you guys again about the Zodiac signs. And then this time we're going to talk about one of my favorite signs, the lion. The lion of Leo, and what role Leo plays in the Zodiac, what it represents. And so, with that being said, I'm going to get right into it. So, Leo is a fire sign, a fixed fire sign. To be specific, we know we know that the fire element deals with you know creativity, creativity, expression, and inspiration. Um, Creativity, expression, independence, and there are other words. And art, energy, and let's say spontaneity. We'll say spontaneity, but there's a lot of ways to explain fire. Just the main one is creativity. That's the main one, and then you got fixed, and that's being fixated at the same time. That's like being that's like you got being fixated, which also means being attached to and nurturing and watching over and caring over whatever it is that you are fixated upon. That's what fixed modality deals with. In this case, it's fire. We got fixed fire, which is Leo, and so this would mean this is a sign which is fixated on its own. Its own. This is a sign for the people who are fixated on their own ways of being expressive. Their own ways of you know their own ways of doing things and creating creating things and their own ways of being inspired. And yeah, and so and so after saying that, we'll we'll go on to the parts. We go to the parts that we go to the body parts that Leo rules. And Leo rules the heart, the back, and the spine. And it's kind of explain why Leos have such big hearts. Um, I don't know if they actually have actual big hearts, but that explains why they just have such. That just explains why they have such big hearts. Anyway, don't want to get too into that, make that awkward. And then moving on to the planetary ruler. And if you guys haven't, if you have noticed by now, I just want to share. I'll share this and tell you. Um, I assume I haven't shared it already, but the each sign's planetary ruler, when you after explaining it, or whether you already know about it or not, it always kind of gives you a reason as to why that sign why people that fall under that sign may act like that. And there's another thing with cusp too, but that's for other videos. So yeah, going to the planetary ruler going to the planetary ruler of Leo. The planetary ruler of Leo is the sun itself. It's the sun itself, um, the life giver. The sun itself, the life giver. The very It is the planet of self expression. It is the sun of consciousness. It is the Did I say it is the sun of I mean, if I don't think I said that, but it's the planet of self. It is the planet of self expression. It is the planet of consciousness and creativity. It is the planet. It is the planet that deals with identity and all that. And then when you know that, you can kind of see why Leos are so they're very solar. They're like always high energy. You always see them with a lot of energy, and then they always got so much fire in them. Hell, even more so than, and I say even more so than Aries. And another way to look at it is like this. Leo is the sign out of all the signs in the zodiac. Leo, well, this is why it's my favorite. Out of all the signs in the zodiac, Leo is the sign of self-love. And then here's another interesting perspective on Leo that I want to share in this video. Leo, since we know the sun represents the life force, and then Leo, deals with the heart and all that, and heart deals with, in a spiritual sense, it deals with, the love and compassion. Leo, even though it's a fire sign, the very qualities of Leo, Leos being in their own world, loving themselves, the very act of one person loving oneself is actually, when you think about it, a sign of introversion. One maintaining their power and energy and creativity within themselves, and when they do express it outwardly, it's towards themselves. So it'll be like an it'll be like an external, um, it's like an it's the external expression of one's creativity back towards themselves again. So it's like that. It's it's like an and it's the way to explain it is like it's like introversion expressed. I don't know, but for anybody who's familiar with self love, you get what I'm talking about. So that doesn't get too confusing. And then expressing that's not, when you know the planetary rule and all that, you can kind of now you know why Leos have so much energy, why they're very solar, why they're very just very energetic, and that's because they're ruled by the sun itself. One of the main one of the biggest one of the biggest masculine planets, other than being Mars. Anyway, now that we explain with explaining that, when you have too much love and too much energy, which Leo can be notorious for, this can kind of this can start to play out as on the worst end. At this can kind of get into like things with, and this is subjective. Everybody's got their own opinions, but most people, not most people, but you'll have your people that say that they can be narcissistic and have this, that they can be narcissistic and love themselves too much or too selfish, and and to an extent, when a Leo may be, when a Leo may really when you'll know when a Leo has it's got to you'll know when a Leo has way too much energy. So I'm not even gonna really get into that, but yeah, sometimes when they have too much energy, they come off to others as narcissistic and too selfish. And um, in the cases where that is true, there are cases where it's not true and people just ain't loving themselves a lot, so they're jealous and trying to vampirize off the Leo, like it's in the other videos. But in particularly in the cases where it may be true, with Leo, um, Leo needs to learn to cultivate more selflessness and share some of that solar energy, some of that life force with others. And there's water. Water can do that through making the Leo more aware of the feelings of others. That's how water can do it. Air can do it by trying to by mentally breaking down exactly how the Leo may be appearing through others, and communicating that. I said that's what air would do, right? If I didn't, that's what air would do. And then, Earth, Earth would make sense out of Earth would try to be practical and make sense out of try explain to Leo, the Leo, how they can be more, you know, practical and practical, stable, and secure, and reserved with their own energy, as to where it's not, where they're not, being too selfish and burning others, but where it's just like I was saying, more balanced and reserved. But the ones there's one sign, the Zodiac, that can do this for show and help out Leos, and that sign is that every opposite sign always brings balance to the sign that it's opposing. So that sign will be Aquarius, the sign of the revolutionary, the humanitarian, like the idealist, and so many other ways you could talk about Aquarius. But what does Aquarius ultimately deal with that makes it an opposite to Leo? Leo is Leo. It represents the sun. Sun represents the self. Leo is about the self. Aquarius is about Aquarius is like the revolutionary. With the revolutionary, is fighting for like the revolutionaries to be fighting for the collective. They're selfless. So now you got the self versus selfless, the humanitarian versus the one who is just the human. When you make the human more humanitarian, it lets them know that put basically what I'm saying here with Leo and Aquarius can teach Leo how to be more humanitarian and share more of that uh, share more of the energy that they have within themselves with others that are deserving of it, not deserving of it. And then Leo, and since Aquarius is a humanitarian sign, deals with giving themselves to others a lot. Leo, in turn, for Aquarius, teaching Leo to become more selfless with his energy, can teach um, Aquarius, you know, Aquarius, and teaching Leo how to become more selfless with Leo how to become more selfish with their Leos to become more selfish with their energy. Leo, in turn, can teach can teach Aquarius how to become more selfish with their energy, not so that they switch, not so that they switch from like their natural states to being anything of the way that they usually like to do things, but more so that they can learn, you know, so that they can learn balance between give and take, or give and receive, or just between being just being giving others and then giving to the self. And another thing, giving to self is introversion regardless, and then to um giving to others is extroversion. So that's just another thing too. So yeah, that's what Leo and Aquarius help each other out with. The person who is known to, the one who's specialized in being selfish can help them once, but help out the one who's specialized in being selfless, and then vice versa. In a nutshell. And with that being said, um, not with that being said, and also remember, and with another thing to cement this too, another thing to make this make more sense is that when you're able to love yourself, you can love others. So yeah, that's another thing. So when you do love others, make sure you love yourself. That's another thing. And that's another thing that Leo can learn from Aquarius, and Aquarius can learn from Leo. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. If you guys like this, that's cool. If you guys got some feedback you want to share, or your own take on something you want to add, just in general, and go ahead. I always want to learn. I always want to listen to you guys and accept the feedback. But with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. You guys, hope you guys have a good day. Talk to you guys later. Peace.